Hey everyone, I just thought I'd spend this time now and speak to you guys about a common subject that's come to the forefront in terms of what I do in the creative process. As many of you may know, I am very much a writer. I'm an author. I have a book that's currently out on Amazon at the moment. It's called Drax. It's a crime thriller about a young man who gets involved with the wrong people. He suffers betrayal and he goes on his own hero's journey to enlightenment, to overcome the circumstances that he currently faces. It's got dark comedy, it's got gangs, it's got police, it's got conspiracy, and it's got relationships. It's got all the things that I would personally want to see in a crime thriller that would engage myself. And so far, looking at the reviews online, it's all been positive, and I can only thank all of you who've gone out there, who have made their purchase, and I can't wait to get another book, the second book, Heath, out to you this year. That'll be a monumental and incredible achievement on my part, and of course that'll be partly thanks to you because of your positive reviews on my efforts, on my creative efforts in writing a book. So I can only just say thank you, and I look forward to getting the next installment on my series of work over to you by this year, 2024. So I thought I'd spend some time and speak with you all about how I'm actually able to write all these things. How am I able to get the characters together and how they all interlink with each other to then weave itself into becoming a narrative that will engage, entertain, and also educate. How do I actually do this? So I thought I'd title this video The Creative Process. But before I begin, I'd like to also remind you that I'm also a fashion entrepreneur too. I have a very simple line of t-shirts, hoodies, and sweatshirts. This is just the draft, the beta sample of what's to come very soon. But if you want to find out a little bit more about what I do in terms of the fashion front, again, simple line, t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, minimalist design. My company, of course, is called Blaque Falcon, which is the same branding of which I released my book independently. So yeah, check out my website, www.blaquefalcon.co.uk. So that's Black spelt with B-L-A-Q-U-E, then Falcon, of course, the bird, like the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars. Okay, the writing process. How did I write Drax, and how have I managed to write Heath? This answer is a very multi-layered one. At the time of writing Drax, I was suffering through numerous internal, familial, if I even pronounce that correctly, problems. At the time, the year was 2015, and I wasn't a happy person at the time. Very, very angry, very disillusioned. I only just graduated from university. London South Bank University to be precise, for you fact checkers out there. I achieved a 2-1 in construction management. So yeah, I majored in the construction industry in terms of engineering, because of course, like the mainstream like to tell you, you need to get involved in the STEM subjects, science, technology, education, and mathematics. So I obviously chose construction because that was what was placed for me by family, which formed part of what I'm actually going to discuss with you. So the year was 2015. I had garnered into an apprenticeship with a major construction company through a placement by my university. It was a mixed experience. I didn't enjoy it. Didn't like the place I was. I didn't like how I was being spoken to. Didn't like how I was treated. I just didn't enjoy going to work for these people. It was an unpleasant experience, to say the least. And I'll just leave it at that. So at that time, My grandmother had also fallen ill. She was involved in a car crash over in another country, over in Nigeria to be more precise. And both of my parents had taken ill. My mother had a cancerous, it was found that she had a cancerous thyroid tumor found just by her thyroid, which angered me a lot. And then my father had taken ill as well. He had prostate cancer, to be more precise, again on that front. I was not a happy person at all. What was circling through my head? Why do these people have to suffer this? Why do they have to go through it? I can think of loads of other people who pretty much deserve to be suffering like this. Why them? They are not bad people. Why is it? So it was at this point that I started gaining consciousness. A lot like the TV show, the oldish kind of TV show that I've started watching called Westworld, where you see the android clone robot people. They seem to be coming into consciousness, realizing that they're actually in a simulation. So that's where I was at the time. I started kind of waking up and realizing that this world, this life that I'm supposedly living was false. It was created for me. It wasn't created by me. But it was created by me with my consent, because I, of course, agreed to it inadvertently. That's another complex discussion. So at the time, yes, I was not happy with where I was working. I was not happy with everything that was going on at home. I just was not overall a happy person. I realized that there had to have been more to life than what was being sold to me. There had to have been a lot more to life than this. I just wasn't a happy person. I was angry. I was impatient. I just needed an outlet to express my frustration and anger at the world. Yes, I could blame this person, I can blame that person, and I could name names, but I won't. But ultimately, my decision in the end proved to be the correct one, because I decided that there was no more games to be played. Ultimately, the person who was going to get me out of this wasn't some big man in the sky, some big messiah that was going to come down to save me or anything like that. It had to come from myself, the God within. Yeah, I said it. The God within me, the Christ that sits within me, the Falcon that sits within me, and that also sits within you if you choose it. So that's where I was. This took me back to my childhood, where I used to also get my notebooks, and I used to just doodle in I should just keep on writing. My handwriting wasn't very clear at the time, but I used to just keep on writing because I didn't enjoy school either. I went to private school. I went to a Jewish primary school in Stoke Newington, and I wasn't a very happy person in school either. I just didn't like school. I didn't like having to wake up, going to school, sitting in front of a classroom. I was the only I was the only child there of Afro-Caribbean descent there. And I felt incredibly alienated and angry. Again, who do I blame for this? I could blame my parents for sending me there. I could blame the teachers for just being whoever they were. I could blame my classmates, of course, but no. Why would I do that now? It is what it is. It's an experience that passed through. Right, I'm digressing. So, yes, because it was about my childhood. So, what drove me to write this book was actually my annoyance at the level of ignorance and stupidity and just outright, excuse my language, dumb shit that I just kept on seeing out in the world. So I had to find an outlet to express it. I've always been a fan of dark comedies, political satire, situational comedies. one of my favorite ones had to have been, well, it was The Simpsons, because The Simpsons were always very good at mimicking what was happening in real life, putting it in cartoon form, but the jokes were very, very cleverly executed, that you know that it's not real because it's just coming to you as a cartoon. So that's kind of my preferred style of humor. And I find that the times that I've reread Drax, it tends to reflect itself through my work. I tend to mimic, I have mimicked what I've done. I've mimicked real life in humor form, or in my form of humor form within my book, which I thought was ingenious, if I may say so myself. So I end up writing a series of blogs. I get my notebook and I'm just writing. I'm choosing a subject matter and I'm writing, kind of like what I'm doing with this video right now, just talking to you. So I'm writing and I'm writing and I'm writing and I'm writing and I'm writing. My emotions are on the page, my anger is on the page, my frustration is on the page. And it turns into a series of articles, of blogs. And back in the mid 2010s, around about this time last decade, it formed into a blog called Luciano's World. Why did I call it Luciano's World? Because I was also a fan of mafia movies, crime thrillers, etc. And I just called it Luciano's World. Lucky Luciano, the former gangster who formed the Five Family Commission over in the East Coast of New York, bringing in Al Capone and all the other Beanie Siegel and all these other characters. So that's who I named the blog after. Then following those blogs, I got the itch, the confidence to start writing again, writing again. And then it then turned into a diary. April 10th, I hate my job, this and that, this and that. And then one thing led to another, and then it turned into a narrative. Initially, it turned into a narrative of myself describing the fallacy of being accepted into a world that deep down I knew was not real. So when you read my book, you're going to realize that Luke, who the main character is, he has a group of friends who aren't very friend-like. And Luke feels that he needs to continue on this friendship. He needs to hang out with these guys because that is his sense of identity. Luke isn't a full person if he's by himself, so he needs to have his friends that he had from uni in order to be accepted, to be someone in this world. And then what happens in the story as I'm writing, I just thought, I don't know what was happening through my head. I create this machination, this guardian angel-esque kind of character who steps in and he's everything that Luke wishes he was. Confident, assertive, popular, athletic, intelligent. He lives on his own. He has his own apartment. Women love him. Guys want to be around him. This enigmatic, charismatic figure that just simply walks into his life. And that's someone who I created in my own head. I created that guy. His name is Jacob. And you'll see Jacob as the story progresses to the middle of the book. Now, I'm going to stop talking about that because I don't want to spoil it for you. You need to go out there and get this book yourself so that you can physically read this. So, back to the main point, that's really what drove the conception of this book. I was not happy. I was angry. I felt that there were things that I was reading in the mainstream media that was annoying me, talking about women's issues, women's rights, and all of this, everything that ladies are going through, which at the time seemed very, very pertinent, and are still very pertinent. But what about men? Like, you do know that men are killing themselves every other month, every other week, over things that they're struggling with. You know, they're going through all types of depression. They're unable to pay their bills. They've got credit card debt. They've got mortgage loans. Some of them have been divorced. Some of them can't see their children for whatever reason. And all these complexities, but no one's addressing it. So I write about it. I write about my desperation for acceptance. I write about my own depression, my own anger, my own annoyance that no one's hearing me on. Ironically, I find in my own experience that people only ever seem to hear me or care whenever I'm angry about something. Whenever I raise my voice and start talking with my chest, and I start getting, some sort of some strong intensity on my eyes, that's when people start paying attention. So that's what I did with this book. I used my intention, my intensity, my anger, my frustration to fuel me to write this book. No, I didn't take on violence. I wasn't angry. Well, I was angry, but I didn't take it out on anyone. I didn't hurt anyone, didn't assault anyone, didn't resort to any drinking or chase these skirts that are running around the place. I simply just opened up a notebook, got a biro, a pen, and just started writing. And I thank myself for taking that direction, because more often than not, you hear about people suffering and unable to sustain the complexities of their everyday reality. So they resort to drinking excessively. They resort to partying every other weekend, which in my experience gets boring very quickly. Drugs. I've never taken any illegal substances in my life, and I'm proud of that. And I've benefited from that too. I've known people who have resorted to violence, joined gangs. Look, I'm from London, so it happens. But you avoid those things because you know in your head through common sense that it doesn't make sense to do those things. So that's what I did. I use those, that's what I did. I created this story to express my frustration, but I also did it to also show how good life can be through the characters. Jacob Brown, well, no, I did say that I was going to stop talking about him, but what I did show through the book is the different spectrums of reality of life through the different class system that we have here in England. You may notice that we do have a very classist society here, from the poor to the rich, and I put that in the book too. I make the city of London its own character in and of itself. So I use these experiences, that's what I was going to say. I use these experiences to fuel me, to push me, to motivate me. I don't need to watch YouTube all day. I don't need to listen to some motivational speaker. I use my circumstance as my motivation. I don't like where I am right now, so therefore things must change. So that's what I use to drive me. Things have to be better than what they are. This life has to be bigger. What cost of living crisis, election, people trying to tell me I need to go out and vote for them, social media, all these noises. There has to be something out there that's bigger for us as people, or rather just myself, because ultimately it's my life. So I thought I'd take this time to speak to you about how I did it. I know it's not a step-by-step A, B, C, D, stage-by-stage process, which is what we're used to getting from school. But ultimately, you use your emotion, you use your past, you use the tools that are available to you to go out and start, which means you don't have to be rich to start that business. I started a business with no money and I'm doing okay. You use everything that you already have at your arsenal to go out and succeed, to achieve, to be the best person forward, but to see yourself as that chosen one. Because in my life, I am the chosen one. I'm the best. You know, I'm going to start ranting now, but I'll try and control myself. But put it this way, none of you guys have walked a mile in my shoes. You do not have the experience that I have in putting up with the ignorance and the stupidity and the annoyances that I've gone through working in corporate England, whilst also dealing with internal things at home, whilst also starting my own business and running it and selling clothes and selling books and still somehow finding time to still have some sort of a social life and going to the gym. And no, you don't have that experience, but I do. But on the flip side, I don't have the experiences that you have. And that's what you need to be drawing off of. You need to draw off of your own experiences and see what constructive development that you can create within yourself so that you can build something more healthier, much more sustainable, and much more efficient for yourself. So, right, I'm going to stop. Otherwise, I'll just keep going on ranting and ranting and ranting. Well, I'm not ranting. I'm just talking. But I'm going to end it there. I'm going to keep doing videos like this because not only is it helpful for me, it may also be helpful for yourselves as well. So see this as a useful exercise for yourself. If you did find it helpful, great, excellent. And I thank you for your time in listening. And of course, as a reminder, yeah, check out the book, read it. Please do leave a review on Amazon. It's all there. It's all got 5 stars at the moment. So yeah, I'll go ahead to keep on reading. And of course, if you need your wardrobe upgraded, which you obviously do if you don't have it, get yourself a Blaque Falcon hoodie. It's all made in cotton. You know, of course, I always go for the 5-star stuff. So it's all reasonably priced too. So go over to the website, go over to at Amazon, go to Amazon, type in Drax, D-R-A-X, by myself, Ikenna Mwimo, and of course go to blaquefalcon.co.uk, B-L-A-Q-U-E, falcon.co.uk for your t-shirt, hoodie, sweatshirt, whatever you need, you know I've got it. All right, take care now. Till next time.